Nice. Nice. Perfect. Doing exactly what we need to do. Welcome. Been a little bit of time. Like, obviously, the operator case live stream wasn't too long ago. Now we have another one. So, super surprising because I currently have a mouse, which is crazy because I haven't used this mouse in 2.5, maybe 3 years, and I got it out of the cabinet and I turned it on and I connected it, and it has some battery life to it. It has 63% battery life to it, which is honestly pretty good considering it's been up there for a while now. So today we'll be working on the Gepard GM3M. This is the older brother to the Lynx as a platform. So the Lynx fires 50 BMG, or the Russian equivalent of 50 BMG. You can get it chambered in either or, pretty sure at least. But there's also this next cartridge right above 50 BMG, 14.6, I believe, where you get bigger. It's the same round that the PTRD fired and the PDRS fired. So you had the bolt action, like semi-automatic bolt action one, where like the whole thing recoiled and it unlocked and it would eject the cartridge for you, and then you would put one in, close the bolt. That's the PTRD 41. But then you had the PTDS or something like that, the 43, which was semi-automatic, and it had a box magazine on it and everything. But it fired this larger 14.6 round or something. And I know it's 14 as the first two letters, which is 0.02 bigger than a 12 millimeter, which is the 50 BMG. Really cool stuff. You know, bigger rounds, bigger rifles. These anti-material rifles are super cool to kind of play around with and everything. So right now, I don't often do this, but I feel like it's super important that I explain what exactly is going on with this rifle in general, because it is completely different than a lot of the stuff that I currently build on the channel. So bear with me. We'll get into actually building it in a little bit. But about 3-4 years ago, I switched from doing legal building and everything to what I've now started just calling 3D modeling. Basically just, I don't care if the parts were connected. I don't care if the parts came in the color that they came in. I don't care if they clipped into one another. I just wanted to build a gun model so that I could make it a certain color or add certain attachments to it, and basically just use the whole Lego program as a 3D modeling program, essentially. Now, drawback to that is if I ever wanted to build that in real life, I'd have to redesign basically everything, and it generally was a giant pain in the ass for trying to do like real life building with it, right? Obviously, it takes a lot more to make sure that the parts are available in the color that you're using them in, that everything is connected, that everything is sturdy enough that it's not going to just fall apart the second you pick up on it and everything. So I have somewhat changed that for the Gepard GM3M. This is a giant rifle. It's 227 studs long, which is quite a bit. That's not short at all. Every once in a while, I kind of do this just to kind of show that I can still do this. It's more for me, more than like other people. I could care less what other people think. But for me, I want to be able to say, like, yeah, I still have it in me to be able to sit down and build something that's completely legal and parts that are available and everything like that. So right now, the Gepard GM3M is completely attainable in real life. Everything is connected to one another. Right now, what's like super reinforced is the handguard, the barrel nut, kind of that upper receiver rail section. Like all of that is super reinforced. This part of the receiver back in here isn't super reinforced. It's not connected to anything on bottom, but I plan on fixing that here in a second when we start working on the rest of the receiver. All of the parts are available in their colors. Here's the color validator over here. There is nothing over here that's currently not available in those colors. I do have the the part palette. It hides the unavailable parts in the selected colors, so if those parts aren't available in that color, it disappears, which means I know I can't use them, which kind of works out. And because of that, we're also able to see exactly how much this model would cost us. Oh, it was updating because I only saw $400, and I was like, that was not the amount that I saw yesterday. Like, there was way more money involved with it yesterday. Yeah, so we're up to $998. We're ordering from 217 different stores for a total of 3,791 parts. If you guys want to see what the most expensive one is, take a bet right now what the most expensive parts are. I will give you a hint. The color for the most expensive parts is white. I'll give you a couple seconds to comment down what you think the most expensive one is. All right, now we're clicking on it. The most expensive parts for this are these right here. These brick modifieds 1x1x2 with the square hole in them that's kind of set. It's the Craggle piece from the Lego movie, basically, but in white instead of red. Expensive. Super expensive. And there's only 36 used on this entire model. You know, I'm kind of more expecting like stuff like this where I used a whole bunch of them to be the more expensive piece. This same thing, I used a whole bunch of these. So either of these would be like the most expensive, but that is not the case. I only used 36 of these, and we're still up to 124. For the physical information, here's where we're at. This is about, I think, like 4, maybe 6 pounds. I forget the conversion on that. And then we are 216 studs worth of length. So we're 10 inches too short. Sorry, not inches. We're 10 studs too short. Part of that is because I don't have the muzzle brake built, and I also don't have the butt pad built on this either. But we're rounding out pretty close to our stud measurements for this. So for those of you who don't know how inches work, there's 12 inches to a foot, so 5 feet is going to be 60 inches. So this, as of right now, this rifle is 5 foot 8 inches long, and it's only going to get longer. So this is what we have. Sorry about the whole frame dropping thing. The laptop is struggling because it's doing a lot of work right now. Also, we're working one-to-one. We'll be working one-to-one using Studio's built-in reference image stuff. This is like super cool how all of this kind of works together to do exactly what I needed to do, which is basically cheat. Like it's super easy to build stuff that's one-to-one when you could just overlay an image into Studio, and now you have it. Like it's the easiest thing in the world. All right, so as you can see, we're basically built one-to-one up to our muzzle brake. We need to add that in today at some point. Now then the image, it's tilted like this. The image is tilted like this, so you can see where like the top of the barrel is starting to show here, but it's still pretty fucking close with everything. And then down here at the bottom, why are we doing this? There we go. We're still pretty close as well with everything. Sorry, probably just blew out the speakers, my bad. I moved to a mouse not to do that, but I probably just did it again. All right, I am actually kind of curious. I don't think I have it though, but we'll check. that's the wrong folder. I should not have clicked on that. Also get rid of that because we're not doing that. So I don't have the 14 in here. I've gone up to 50 BMG, which is what this is. But I don't have the 14. So to get the 14, we click on this. I don't want to load that. I would probably rather load the PTRD41. File, open. As long as it doesn't lag out, because it does not always like to load everything in here. Anti-material rifles. You can do it. And then this is kind of what I'm talking about with the whole like lagging it out thing. I need a way better computer setup than what I currently have, because it does not like this like at all. And then sometimes like if I switch out and I come back, it fixes itself. It's an absolute nightmare. I don't know why it does this, but it does it. Do complete version 1 for the PTRD. It should open, I hope. And once that opens, we'll be able to grab the 14.6 by something. I think it's 14.6. I need to look up the actual measurements and everything, but I never do. Man, this thing is ancient. Oof, buddy. Super old. Alright, so here's my round, right? I'm going to just kind of take a look at how close this is to the magazine size. I'm going to be really happy if it's like substantially close to it. I need to grab. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to get used to it lagging a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that overall sizing for that. So that's like, let's put this down to 14. Let's go to 13. Let's go to 12. 12. Looks like it fucking hits. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that size-wise. PTRD 41 is like one of the oldest models that I have, like, ever. So being able to kind of work this out makes me pretty happy. We're going to edit this real quick. We're going to try to make this legal. Streaming. Oh, you know. Need to see if I can get. So these are here because when I first built this, the regular 1x3 ones weren't. So I wonder if I could get them in yellow. I shouldn't need that. I should be able to get rid of that. And we should be able to select this. It's yellow. Select that. Press yellow. It comes in yellow. Does that come in yellow? No, it doesn't. But I'm okay with this being a different color. Can we do blue maybe? We'll do orange. It'll blend in a little bit better. Let's grab this. Click on this. Switch to working in yellow. And these 1x3s do come in yellow, so that works out. Stick that in here. Grab that. Make it disappear. This. Okay, so we're going to have problems clicking this. So that's in. So it looks like we're not going to make it doing another one of those without it clipping. Yeah, it's going to clip. So now then we need to switch back to I've always hated finding this damn thing. Well, you know what? It might not be available in yellow. I thought it was, though. I shouldn't have deleted it. Damn it, dude. Alright, so real quick, let's switch this box off for the hide. And then do 3x3 and then put axle. Also didn't pop up. I could have sworn it was called axle something. Yeah, right here. Which means it doesn't come in yellow. Which means we're going to have to change this around to another color or something. So we need to kind of move all of this. Alright, so these two pieces here come in. They come in dark orange, right? So let's just hit them both with dark orange. Does that come in dark orange? It doesn't. Does this come in dark orange? It doesn't. And then I know these don't. So if we grab everything that's yellow, right, and we just say I need it to be black, everything there comes in black. I want to say that also comes in red. That also comes in white. Can we do white? So everything there comes in white. Okay, I think I prefer the white over the black because there's a lot of black already here. Can I do this in green? I should be able to do it in like an olive green, right? Dark olive green. No. Okay, then I know for a fact we can do it in the sand green because Hogwarts is in the sand green. And a lot of theirs have yeah. I don't really like the white now. So do we go back to black? Let's see what these come in. Let's just we'll just say this color so that I can take a look at what color comes in. Oh, it comes in sand blue. Does everything come in sand blue? Yeah. Trying to do legal building because it's currently not being the greatest thing in the world. Okay, so a whole bunch of stuff on here does not come in sand blue. I want to kind of find out what colors do the cone should come in like a lot more colors than other stuff. And then the brick round one comes in light bluish gray. So let's just try light bluish gray for everything and say it's steel cased ammo, right? So light bluish gray works. So it's a steel case. Yeah, we're enjoying it. What's going on, Cora? Hopefulness. So if it's steel cased, right, can I do a metallic color for the bullet tip at least? Probably not, but maybe. Pearl gold. Wow, pearl gold actually worked for all of that. It's a bullet, and it's technically all legal. So we're just go in through here. Sorry, my cat is trying to open the thing that I'm in front of, like the doors that I'm in front of, and I have it open to put my feet in, and he isn't like going through. He's just kind of standing here, staring at it, being weird. All right, so we technically have a round now, right? It's not pretty by any means, but it'll get the job done for what I want it to do. So the grip comes off on it. So if we come over here to one of these images, I think it's this one. Forgive my poor, low quality image because it is what it is. But so like I don't know, because there are guns out there that have this type of stuff, and with this one being so large, shooting 14mm rounds instead of 50s, I feel like it would be okay. So just keep in mind that the stock is going to be here, and instead of your arm being kind of like in line with the gun, your arm can kind of come out this way a little bit, and I feel like that might be a little bit more comfortable. So that if it recoils backwards, right? So if you've got your arm like this and it recoils directly backwards, your elbow goes down, it drops. Whereas I feel if you have your arm kind of already bent to kind of come to the side, when it recoils, your arm kind of goes sideways. I feel like I'd rather it go sideways so I don't like bang my arm into the dirt or the rock or whatever it is that is currently underneath me. So I don't know. That's like a maybe on that. I'm just not really sure. We are going to be working on the lower receiver. Ow, you little fuck. Why did you scratch me? Alright, so here's the lower receiver for this side, which actually seems super simple. Cat, because like right now the only thing that we've done is build a cartridge, so we're gonna do slightly better. We now need to build the lower for this, so there's a lot going on, and now I'm nervous as hell because now I'm doing it live on stream, so I can't make like as many mistakes. So far, everything is legal. We can buy all the parts. Everything is connected. I'm working on, like, so right now, if we just flip on around here and we hide how this looks. So for the receiver, right? All of the stuff in here needs to be semi-reinforced. Mainly the what really needs to be reinforced are these wings here. That's what needs to be like super reinforced. The reason being is because in order to get this angle, all I did was continue the angle of the handguard. I literally took the same exact geometry of all those pieces. I just extended it out, which means when it gets to the end of the receiver, like way back here, it's just floating. So that needs to be reinforced. For this stuff here, all of this, I'm not too concerned about, other than just connecting it in the back together, which shouldn't be too difficult. And then, like, the main kind of rib that starts all of that is all of this stuff right here. So if we just hide this real quick, you'll see that it's the Technic pinholes, and there are 3 wide, so there's like this giant solid mass of stuff right there. Like it's a core that it can kind of lock into. So I want to retain that. I also want to take, oh my god. Oh god, computer lagging is not fun while streaming because I'm losing frames because of the stream. I also want to take, and I currently have, like you can see these upside down bracket pieces in here. I want to take long Technic pieces and stagger these every so often and then hook them in with Technic pins and just carry that on down the rifle itself so that it kind of locks all of that in. Because right now there are plates that are staggered on one another to kind of lock them from moving this way. But there's not a lot that will prevent it from flexing up and down like this. So if I took in, locked it in with Technic panels and everything, like that'd be awesome. Would it be the norm in the future? No, not really. This is a giant pain in the ass. I 100% understand why I switched to doing it the other way now. I don't really want to do this. The whole color accuracy so that we can buy all the parts and make sure that everything is connected. It's a giant pain in the ass, and I really don't like doing it. This is I want to make sure that I can still do this type of stuff. I 100% feel like I can still do this type of stuff because I'm currently doing it, basically, but I'd like to not have to keep doing this. I'd like to kind of be done with it, if that makes any sense. So I want to do, let's hide this real quick. Let's put this one piece back that I got rid of. Oh my god. Frame dropping. I'm not going to get any work done. Alright. Yeah, 100%, but this is a giant pain in the ass. It'd probably be different if it wasn't such a large model, right? Like, we're 68 inches long right now, which is huge. Being a pain in the butt. Yeah, for the most part, because I don't build like a lot of them stupidly illegal. I have one rifle that I built like I have two rifles that I built like stupidly illegal. Funny enough, one of them is another anti-material rifle. The Alligator by Snipex is stupidly illegal. So if we just take a look real quick. T-Rex, not the Alligator. The Alligator is the semi-auto one. I did not make the semi-auto one. So like, all of this is legal. All of this in here is generally legal. Most of this is legal. Most of this is down here is legal. Most of the stuff over here is pretty legal. Where it gets illegal is this upper receiver through here, right? All of this through here, this stuff through here, and then this stuff through here. And the main reason for that is because I didn't feel like trying to figure out the geometry for these plates and everything to kind of line up with one another. So I just put them inside one another and called it a day. 100% could be done legally if you wanted to sit down and like figure out how all of this works. I just didn't feel like it, so I didn't. But it could be done. All right. So low receiver. If we go 5 wide, right, there's going to be a little bit of an inset on this, which is kind of what I want to kind of show it a little bit of a difference between here and here. You can see like a little bit of a line. And if we go 5, then this inset section of it will be 4. Though the magazine needs to be 5, right? So we might need to go 6. That way the magazine could fit inside of it. So if I go 6 instead, I have to adapt. So the magazine needs to be 4 because I have that, the 14mm case that I have is 3 studs wide. So I need the magazine to go 4 to fit that case inside of it, because I kind of want to see if I could put the case inside of it. It'd be, you know, pretty neat to put the case inside of it. So I need to adapt to 6. So to adapt to 6 in this area, is this already at 6? So if we take a 6 here, right? Oh boy. I'll try to do plate built magwell on this, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. So we take this, right, and we kind of line this up here, because I just want to see how this looks. All right, so we can see that this isn't 6 wide. So you see how this little bit flares out here and this little bit flares out here? That means this isn't, this here and this here isn't 6. So if that's not 6, we have to adapt somewhere for it to be 6. So if we leave that plate where it is, right, because this is where we want the lower receiver to start, right? We want that to be there. I just need to figure out geometry-wise how to get that reinforced on the inside of this, up here, in this area, right? Nope, not move. I don't want to move. I want to pan the cursor right here. So I also need it to be somewhat strong, right? So I have an idea. It's probably not going to work, but you never know. Let's grab a jumper, which I can almost never find in plate modified. I know where it's in plate modified, but I can almost like never find it in plate modified. Okay. This whole when I click and it not registering thing is going to be a giant pain in my ass. So we place this here, right? And then we go to a 1x2 brick. Okay. All right, we're gonna ditch the mouse because that's bothering the shit out of me. Place that there, like so. And then we need to find ourselves a bracket. It's going to be this one. Bracket. I cannot wait to have a better computer. And we place that there. And we have now adapted from there to there, right? So we're pretty golden with that part. Now then the problem is that's not going to be super strong because it's only connected in one spot, right? Which means we need to connect it in some type of way so that it faces upwards. So there's gotta be geometry somewhere where I can place one of those really fancy new bricks, right? We come back up here to brick modified. There's a really fancy new one. It's a 1x2 with this stud in the center. This thing right here, right? So just looking at the geometry, I think this one would fit here. And I do a couple plates to match that. Might not work. We might have to move things around like a little bit. It shouldn't be that big of a deal to move things around. Not being able to grab parts is going to kill me because it's also doing it on this end as well. Okay, so this doesn't fit here. So math-wise, I'm being stupid. It should fit. The stud should fit here, up here, right? So if we delete that real quick, it should just fit here. Yes. All right. So this is working. We're doing somewhat good. So now we have that piece up there. And then in order to get our bracket piece back out, all we have to do is grab a 1x2, place this here, and then using the bracket piece that goes back the other way, which we already have, we place this here. Which means our geometry for everything should work going forward. So we grab this, and we grab this. Command C, Command V, and then this is going to paste in. That'll paste here. Command V, this will paste in. That'll paste here. Command V, this will paste in. Fuck. That'll paste there. And then we move down. Command V. Command V. All right, so that pretty much goes up to there. Now then, I have this piece set here to kind of add a block for the bolt, because if we take a look here at how this looks, right, from the side, it's not a full stud like where this receiver ends. So I kind of put this in here to kind of give it a little bit more of depth to it, and then that way when the bolt was closed in on it, you couldn't see into a whole bunch of geometry, because there's a whole bunch of geometry going on the inside of this. So I'm thinking that for right now we leave that where it is, and then we just continue the lower receiver out, right? I need to make considerations for our magazine and where it's kind of generally going, right? I wonder if, no, 4 is not going to fit, and 4 is not going to fit because we can look at this and it's too constrained. So 4 won't fit. So if I want, I'm kind of thinking that with the magazine is centered on the rifle, right? I say that because this is the image that we have, and this is the part that we're working on right here, this little part of the receiver, right? And then you have this part of the lower that has the mag wall and everything. This has to be in line with the bolt, right, to feed rounds. And if that's in line with the bolt, then it's got to be in the center of the rifle, right? So if that's center of the rifle, then I need this edge that we're currently working on over here. It just needs to be a plate just coming down, like just a consistent plate. And the reason it just needs to be a consistent plate is because I want the mag wall area to be 4 wide so that we can kind of work on getting some type of plate mag wall built up for it in the future, right? So if we do 4 down, but it doesn't have to be 4 wide until we hit that magazine well area, which looks like it's going to start somewhere here. So we're going to keep this 6 wide all the way up to basically here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 2 is 18, so I need a 6 by 18, right? There's a 6 by 12. There's a 6 by 14. That's a 6 by 16. 6 by 24. So let's just jump up to... Did I do the math wrong? There's 6 times 2 is 12, dude. What the fuck? What am I doing? Come on. Boom. All right. So that works in there, right? All right, next thing's next. So we're going to kind of use this as a little bit of a guide, because if you take a look here, it's the same type of geometry over here. Like, obviously, this is like a takedown pin and everything. I'm not doing this whole takedown pin bullshit. All right, it's just not going to happen. I need it to be stronger than just taking the whole thing down based on that. 100%. Now, I wasn't dealing with this frame rate when I was building, like this rifle in particular, I don't usually have to deal with that. But the second I opened OBS and I started streaming data, I had to start dealing with it. So, fuck OBS, basically. But part of that is also because of how old the laptop is. Like, this laptop is ancient in comparison to a lot of different things. I have built with this frame rate before in the larger models that I do. So, like, for instance, for example, the operator case that had, 100,000 pieces in it, I had to deal with that as an issue, but there was 100,000 pieces in it. If I closed out of stream and stopped streaming data, I would not have the same issues, but then I also wouldn't be streaming. And I kind of want to stream a little bit, at least try to stream a little bit. What are you doing? All right. Do I want to do fancy slopes on this? I'm going to try arch, because I feel like it's an arch. It is an arch. So that puts it like a little off on that. But that's like the smallest arch that we have. fit. If we put it there, it's too far off. Put it here. It's close-ish to it. It's not perfect though. If we do just like a wedge, G-slope, right? Make it go like one more maybe. We do that. I see what you're saying, Cora. So probably not, right? Because I'm losing. If I do it that way, I lose my connection point to the top of the receiver, which I don't want, because that connection point is currently what's saving this build being legal on here on the bottom. But you're right, it would look awesome to do that. I don't think there was anything in the regular slopes that I could use for that. So we're just going to keep it as a cheese slope, right? So this is going to be slightly off, right? But it's Lego, and we're going to do as best as we can, which means it's going to look like that. So I'm losing this much distance between here and here, which is Lego. I don't know what to tell you. It's not going to be 1-to-1, but it'll be damn near perfect 1-to-1. Tip the butt, it'll be 1-to-1. All right, and then so I know that for this side, it's just one even straight across, right? So we're going to do 4s the whole way. 4 is not going to work just yet. I need to do 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, and then put this 4 here. We're doing 4s so that the smooth tiles that we're going to put on top of this can be 8s, and they overlap the way I need them to. What is this? So this is the part that we're working on here, so it looks like it just goes straight to the butt. Panther. Panther. Where does cat? I usually lay down on my card table mat behind Cards Against Humanity. Alright, so that is that. So that's the main part here. Now I see it's chamfered, right? The problem with the chamfering part of that is I could put cheese slopes on it. And I could put cheese slopes like the whole way. But it's not going to be very strong if we put cheese slopes on it the whole way. And we kind of want it to be strong, right? We don't want it to be super weak. So it might be too big to do chamfering on it. Because if we do, let's just make sure our orientation is set. This one's going to be back. So it looks like as a tile, we only have like the tile available to us worth of room height-wise, right? So we just kind of put this in here. I'm okay with that being the proper one. And the cheese slopes we know are going to be too high. So I'd have to delete our 4x4s running down and rely on the clutch power of 1x2 cheese slopes overlapped on those 1x4s like the whole way for the lower receiver, which is stupid. Like, that's setting myself up for failure. So we're not going to do that. So I'm going to drop this 1x2 in. And we're just going to do flat studs the whole way. And like I said, we set this up to use 1x8s so that they overlap with one another. I'll keep that somewhat sturdy. And then if we delete this and we delete this, right, we should be able to grab a eight by 6, flip that, come down on this just a little bit, slide that over. And then that should generate our little bit of an edge on this side so that we can slowly start the part that's going to make me want to kill myself. So I have an idea for this part here, right? This grip part. What I can only assume is the safety. Though I'm not entirely sure. Though, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, right? If we find this one, right? And we take a look at this picture. You see, this has got to be the safety. Because you see, it's flipped down, right? I'm assuming white dot, safe. And then on this one, red dot, fire. Right? Like, that's what I'm assuming. So this has got to be the safety on it, right? That's what I'm thinking. So angle-wise, to build this, I don't think they come in this color, so I might have to switch to another color. I know for a fact that they come in black, so let's switch to black. I know they come in black because I have a bunch of them, and I think it's one of the coolest pieces Lego's ever built, but it's super old, and they don't make them anymore. Probably going to cost an arm and a leg to buy these things, but here's the part that I kind of want to use for this angle. Come on. Thank you. So if we just kind of zoom in on this, right? So you see, like, in this form, it's probably like way too steep of an angle, right? But the cool thing about this piece is that we can take and turn it, and now we have a steeper angle that kind of matches like what we're going for, right, for this angle. And it's extendable, and it works. It's great. Just real quick, how much does this cost? Probably a lot. They come in tan. That's pretty neat. I didn't know that they came in tan. Average price, $6.32. Average price now, currently, $9.46. Yeah, buddy. Nice. That's awesome. So we're just going to leave that part kind of floating there for a second. I'm going to go and take off. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, and then we'll be back to start on our grip receiver part of the rifle itself. Yeah. Such a weird ass cat, man. It's literally hiding behind my Cards Against Humanity and my two HDDs that are sitting up there. It's funny. Yeah, $10 for one part is wild. It also makes me kind of happy because I have like 5 or 6 of them. And now I'm kind of like, maybe I should just get into like selling them and charging a stupid amount of money for them. All right. Yeah. So we know that this is 6 here, and we know that up here it transitions to 4, and we need to figure out a way to go to get this to connect to this, so that I have a little bit of some help with holding the whole back of it together. And then I also need to figure out how to get the rails here kind of locked in on this backside as well, so that that works out. So we're going to hide this real quick, and we're going to grab sometimes. I wonder if they're cold. I can't really tell because, you know, cats and all, but they might be. They're Florida cats. They might not used to be to the temperature that it is out there right now. Hey Siri, how cold is it? Hey Siri, how cold is it in Orlando? It's 70 degrees out. I'm acting like it's cold, but I guess it's really not if it's 70. Chance of rain is pretty high though. Alright, so now that we're viewing it on this side of the actual weapon itself, all of the kind of the fine details, like this type of stuff that we're seeing in here, is actually like a part of it, part of the weapon itself. So we need to kind of consider figuring this part out slightly. So in order I'm kind of dividing the weapon up into different sections based on like the colors that are available for it. So like these whole pieces that I used up here are only available in black. I think they're also available in red, but black because it fit. So I did that in black. And then these are available in just black, so I did that in black as well, so that's why this section up here is black. Barrel-wise, kind of the same thing. The real fancy 4x3 cone that I used here is only available in black. So I actually had this being the light bluish gray up until I got to here, and then I had the rest of this being black, and then I was like, no, I better make all of the barrel black, so it kind of works a little bit better because it looks just a little weird for that. The random blue detailing on the scope is because those pieces come in blue. They come in a bunch of other colors too, but blue is kind of where I was able to get away with it. There's a couple red parts in here as well for some stuff, and there is some teal turquoise colors in there as well. So it just worked mainly because it came in blue. And then certain parts don't come in blue. Like this 1x3 doesn't come in blue, so I switched it to dark gray, and then to kind of make it match a little bit on the other turntables, I just made like a middle section on there dark gray as well. But yeah, let's do what we can here, right? Man, there's so much to do. God. It's 15? Oof. Buddy. Yeah, I'm kind of happy to live in Florida. So I just talked to Kenyana about this a little bit too, because we've talked about moving to other places and everything, but for me, there's just something so nice about not having to plow snow off of my driveway or put chain on my tires so that I can drive to go get food or something. I don't know. It's more pleasant for me like that, right? Now, then that said, I wouldn't be opposed to moving back to somewhere where it snows. I just wouldn't want to move somewhere where it snows religiously. I would prefer like small like snow. Like, you know, every once in a while it just snows a little bit. Like, I'd be okay with that, but definitely not something where it happens every day. Yeah, I'm not. Here in Florida, we have a lot to worry about. So I've done a lot of thinking on moving different places and stuff like that. So in Florida, right, we have natural disasters. In California, we have natural disasters. In the Midwest, we have natural disasters. Like, no matter where you go, there's going to be natural disasters, right? So now you have to choose which natural disaster you would rather deal with at that time. And it's pretty hard to choose which one I want to deal with because there's a lot, and some of them are pretty fucked, right? So we'll take California as an example right now, right? We have family that live in California. So when we went and visited them last year, right, for graduations and the Apex regional finals, it was pretty cool. California was honestly pretty nice. Expensive. Definitely expensive. Do not get me wrong there. But weather was awesome. Didn't really have to like worry too much about constant rain in the afternoon, and then it would go away, and it was now like hot as shit because now it's humid and stuff. Didn't really have to worry about that stuff. Just had to worry about like the price of things. But it was neat. It was also right beside the ocean, so it was my first time seeing the Pacific Ocean. You know, just kind of cool to be there and see stuff like that. Since you usually don't see stuff like that, right? Now that it's fire season and LA is currently being razed to the ground like it is the fucking Crusades and they are heathens, I don't know if I want to live there. Right? So we're gonna start comparing natural disasters to natural disasters, right? So Florida, biggest natural disaster, wildfires is on there. It is still the possibility of coming and hitting us, right? But the biggest worry here in Florida that we have to worry about, right, is 100% going to be hurricanes. They suck, but they're here, and there's not much that we can do about it because they're just going to move in and hit us whenever they decide to, right? But hurricanes do not just start in someone's backyard and then decide to like move inland, right? Hurricanes start hundreds of miles away in the middle of an ocean and are, relatively speaking, pretty advanced warning. Like, we know that they're coming, right? So, would I rather currently be in an apocalyptic hellscape that is California? Or would I prefer hurricane? I think my answer for that is hurricane. I've grown up in Florida all my life. This is the state that I've spent most of my life in. I've only spent my life in 2 different states. Living there, I've traveled a whole bunch of states, but living there, I've only spent my life in 2, and this is one of them. I think I'd rather deal with the hurricanes. I know they're coming. I know that the Florida building codes kind of prepare us for hurricanes. At most, a lot of the damage from a hurricane is going to come from the winds associated with them, tearing up like roofs and things like that. The reason I bought the house that I'm currently in is this house was built in the 1950s, 1960s. It is an all-block home, sorry. And they cared about building things back in those times. This house is a tank, as far as I'm concerned. Windows, not so much. I 100% need to update the windows in this house. But wildfires, hurricane, ample warning, wind damage being the most, maybe flooding in certain areas, but I'm not too concerned about the flooding, or vast swaths of destruction because of fire, right? To be honest with you, like the second this house catches on fire, there's not really much I can do about it. The house is just going to be on fire. It sucks. Like, I really don't want the house to catch on fire, but if it ever does, I can't really do shit about it. I call the fire department, and even then, there could, like, if it's a wildfire type scenario, does the fire department really have time to respond to your particular home and just your particular home, or are you going to be responding to more people's homes, right? And this is a capitalist society, so we kind of know how things work, so not to be like super nihilistic or anything, but they're probably going to respond to like the people paying them first before they respond to me. So the government officials and everything that make sure that they have their job and the funding and everything, they're going to probably reply to those homes first before they come to me, right? It sucks, but it is what it is. That's capitalism. So for me, California and that general west side of the country, I'm going to stay away from because I don't want to deal with the wildfires, right? So now we're going to move a little bit further away from California. We're going to start hitting Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, that kind of smaller southwest area. I guess we'll lump Texas into here too. Natural disaster-wise, there's not a lot of things that catch on fire because most of it's desert, so that's pretty nice. Hurricane-wise, you get some coming from the Gulf of Mexico, but it's pretty rare in like Utah, Arizona general areas, so that's kind of nice. Don't have to worry about that. Now you really don't have to worry about the earthquakes and the droughts. Like those are the 2 biggest natural disasters there, right? And earthquake-wise, I haven't been in an earthquake, so I don't really know how to describe the experience of an earthquake, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how that goes. Don't really know. I think I'd be okay being in an earthquake, but I also feel kind of helpless about being in an earthquake. Like for your home during hurricanes, you can prepare your home, right? You can board up the windows, you can put sandbags out for the flooding and everything like that. So like being able to like do something about it kind of helps you kind of like accept what's happening, right? Just kind of being there and not having any ample warning at all, and all of a sudden the whole world is shaking around you. Don't know if I really want to be anywhere near that as a thing. It's just kind of weird, right? To just all of a sudden everything is moving and shaking and falling apart, basically, right? So I don't know. Maybe I don't want that general region because of earthquakes. What Black Ops 2 guns should you do? 1 second. I'll tell you. I should have left that open because I needed that as a reference image. I mean, you've done a lot. I should say that you've done a lot, but you also might not have done a lot. Because, like, the Black Ops 2 guns, like, some of them are... Like, Jesus. You've technically done the AN-94, right? So that's kind of been out of the way. Kind of thinking a little bit. There's a lot of stuff in here. Like, a lot of stuff. Are you looking for something, like, more unique? Because there's definitely some unique stuff in Black Ops 2 that not a lot of people have built. Right? So, like, obviously I'm looking at the 1216 right here. Not a lot of people have built the 1216. Like, not really. Yeah. I like how you put A in 94 in quotation marks. 1216 is unique because obviously it's a multi-magazine tube shotgun and it spins, so there's something that's unique. But you also have the KSG-12 sitting up here. That's another one that's unique that not a lot of people do, and it's kind of hard to do. I feel you. I understand, believe me. The SMR is something that like not a lot of people do, and it's also, the SMR is based on a really, to me, it's a beautiful looking Russian gun. We're gonna see if we can find the prototype image for it. It's this white plastic abomination of a thing. This thing right here. This is what the SMR is based on. From Black Ops 2. It's just, like, to me, it's just such a beautiful looking rifle. I don't even know if it's like an actual gun that's made it out of prototype phase at all, or if it's still just in prototype phase. I'm not really sure, because, you know, it's Russian and Russians do weird things. I loved the SMR. Like, I don't know why, but I did. So that's another unique one. Obviously, the MGL, like, fucking, as far as I can remember, like, only one, maybe two people have made the MGL that I can think of. And it would be super cool to see someone take and do one that actually, like, loads. Like, the My Different Username one that I'm thinking about, it loaded, but it loaded with, like, bricks, right? Like, just square bricks. So it'd be cool to see someone do one where you can load it with the actual, like, grenades. So if you're doing, like, the standard 40 millimeters, like 4 studs by 4 studs wide with the circle pieces, then doing, like, you know, a full loading one would be super cool. You'd have to do it using those old style bracket pieces that you use for, like, the magazine tubes and shotguns to feed 2x2 shotgun shells into. You'd have to, like, use those, like, set up on it. It'd be pretty cool. Ballista is, like, a cult classic, and like, don't get me wrong, there's been ballistas out there that people have made, right? But we can do better. So this is my most recent ballista. It's modeled somewhat after the one from Black Ops 2, but not all the way. It's dated. It's old. It's old because I just took the first ballista that I did and made it better, like, barely, basically. I switched out the, like, square barrel for a circle barrel that's 3x3. I fixed the stock so that it actually folds into the charging handle now and everything. Like, it's better, but it's not perfect, right? I would love to see a more one-to-one accurate one based on, like, what you do, right? Obviously, DSR 50 is another like Black Ops 2 cult classic. Like there's I don't know, there's like so many cult classics from Black Ops 2 that any of them kind of work to build if you want to do like more unique things. Um, SVUAS is neat. M27 IR, that was supposed to be the rifle of the future back in the day. Kind of not anymore, but M8A1 comes up a lot down here. Obviously, M8A1 because it was a burst fire rifle, and everyone loves their burst fire rifles, especially coming off the coattails of Modern Warfare 3's one burst rifles. Like those things were fucking crazy. It's got a really neat look to it. It definitely borrows pretty heavily from the XM8 program, but kind of takes it a step further and puts rails on it so that people can kind of see like how it really would have worked out and everything. Like there are a lot of things in Black Ops 2 that look good. So I know it's something that my different usernames done, and Plaque has kind of done it to a certain degree, and I've done it to a certain degree, right? But I think at some point you just kind of have to tell yourself that I want to sit down and I want to make everything from this particular game, right? So my different usernames done it when Call of Duty games would release. He would do like videos back to back to back of like every gun in the game. So if you go back to his Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 videos, he has like every gun in multiplayer is released like in a row. He's built like every one from the game, right? Specifically for his Black Ops 2, he also chose like different attachments for each and every single one of them, which is neat. Plaque has done it with like most of the HK stuff. Like Plaque's almost built. If you name an HK thing, Plaque's probably built it, right? Which is cool because I mean, you know, that's kind of his thing. For me, I've tried to do it a couple different times as like a 500 subscriber special, like building every gun from Call of Duty 4, which is where like some of this stuff comes from that I'm like super happy with now. M249 from Modern Warfare 1, the first one, I have built. It looks awesome. The RPG-7 looks awesome. Love it. And there's like a couple other things in there that I've tried to kind of just include to like make it better and everything. But I don't think I ever completed Call of Duty 4, because I think there's a sidearm that you can use in Call of Duty 4 that I didn't make. Also, I've done it by manufacturer as well. So like Barrett as a firearms corporation, I've pretty much completed 80% of their catalog. Like there's a few more things in there that I need to build that I haven't. But that's because like a lot of their stuff is, you know, weird-ish. So if we just pop open Discord real quick, I'll show you. Whenever it decides to load. So the other thing is though, just keep in mind that Black Ops 2 also released the updated version of the railgun, right? The real fancy. Alright, we're not going to do this. Never mind. I'm not going to show what I have sitting in Discord. I have a whole channel in my Discord called To Build that I have like stuff posted in of like pictures of things that are neat looking that I want to build and so on and so forth. And there's a Barrett rifle sitting in there. Anyhow, Nick made the ray gun Mark 1, right? But we could still make ray gun Mark 2. And if you built that, then, you know, you have that going for you, right? You don't have to, you can distance yourself from Nick so you don't have to be associated with like his godlike ray gun. You can build your own and be happy with the one that you built. It's sometimes it's difficult, right, to kind of know like what you want to build, right? So like this morning, I sat down. I got up, used the bathroom, washed my hands, walked out, stirred the chili that I currently have cooking that's been cooking since 5 o'clock yesterday, so almost 12 hours now. Actually, almost 24 hours now. Browned Italian sausage, put that in my chili and everything. And then I sat down over here, and I sat down over here for, like, I'm not even going to kid around. I probably sat down for like an hour, hour and a half, looking at like other things to build other than the Gepard. Because I'm starting to reach that point where my brain doesn't want to work on the Gepard anymore. Because it's just so much going into the Gepard at one point in time that you just kind of get to the point where you're like, I don't want to fucking look at this thing anymore. This thing irks me to look at. So I was getting to that point. So I was looking for like something else to build, and something that I considered doing was like the MP5, and finally building like a reference model of the MP5 so that we had something that was one-to-one, as accurate as we could possibly get it. And then I was like, no, I don't really want to do an MP5 because it's an MP5. I don't want to milk the MP5 as much as I would like other stuff, because like it would be super simple to do MP5 from Call of Duty 4 and the MP5 from Modern Warfare 2, which was the MP5K, and then it would be easier to do the Modern Warfare 3 version of the MP5, and then we could do the Black Ops version of the MP5 because they had one in the campaign and not in... Black Ops 1 has the MP5K, right? And then Black Ops 2 also has an MP5 in the campaign, but it's not multiplayer, so I could do the Black Ops 2 version. I don't think there's one in Black Ops 3. I think there's like a variant of one in another Call of Duty game somewhere else. Like I could just keep rebranding things over and over and over again until you ended up with like 8,000 different MP5 models. Like MP5 models are fucking everywhere. I think Cora, you summed it up pretty nicely. Like decision paralysis is like a whole bunch of stuff. Like even now, like I'm looking at this. I'm like, yeah, like this part of the receiver was pretty simple to build, right? Like it's not that big a deal. I've got it semi-connected to the front of the receiver on this side. I've got plenty of room to get a connection worked up over here between like this plate and this plate up here. And it's 6 and 4 at the top, so it's technically 2 at the top. It's going to work out great, right? It's going to do what I need it to do. And then you sit down and you're like, but man, now I got to mess with like this geometry through here. And as much as I know, like I'm going to use this piece to kind of get that geometry and everything, I kind of get to the point where I'm like, man, fuck, I don't want to build this shit. DSR is, it's crazy because I don't think a lot of people have built the DSR. Off the top of my head, right? Me, Zotzi Nobbies, my different username, Tim, I think Tim was his real name, but I'm not too sure. And Tim kind of cheated a little bit in that he asked for my LED file of my DSR. I sent it to him, and then he just used that to build it. I want to say that video is still up on YouTube somewhere. Those are the 4 like big names that I can think of that have built it. I'm sure there's other people that are associated with building DSRs. I just don't remember. So if I don't remember, I'm sorry. Forgive me. But it's in there somewhere. Like that. I think it's hard. Yeah. Yeah. But so then we go back to decision paralysis a little bit, right? Because now I'm looking at a part of the build where it's like, fuck, this is going to be hard and I don't want to do this shit, right? But then I also think about it and go, but at the same time, it would be super fucking cool if I did do this. so I want to do it. And then at some point, you kind of get to the point where you're like, all right, just pull your bootstraps up. Like, let's get this shit done. And then you just do it. It goes both ways. Like, it's hard, but it's also not hard, right? You know, this is very first world problems that we're complaining about. I swear that this part came in red. I swear it came in red. Black, white, yellow? There's no way. No. You're not going to lie to me. If I open you back up, I swear there's a thing down here on the left that says lot, red. Red, right here. Lots for sale, red. It comes in red. Look at this. Look at this. Look, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. It's red. That is red. It's only $44 for one. But it comes in red. So why are you lying to me? This is bullshit. Maybe it's not red. Maybe it's a different color red. I don't even want to look at it. I know I'm gonna make it black. I just don't want to work in black because black is such a difficult color to work in. Because I can't see these pieces. Like, so, all right, just real quick. Let's switch to black, just to fuck with people, right? And then we go back to brick modifieds, right? So this is headlight brick. This is brick with one stud on side. This is brick with all studs on side. This is brick on off-facing sides, and this is corner brick, right? You see how much harder it is to see this shit in black because the shadows and the outlines and everything are fucking hidden. But if we switch to red, right, just a nice, bright, vibrant color, you see how much easier it is to tell headlight brick, regular one brick side, corner brick, bricks on all sides, bricks on opposite sides. You see how much easier it is to just see everything. That's like, I work in red. I need something bright. What attachments did I run on the Ballista? So I did not like running the Ballista, right? So I was super big in the Black Ops 2 back in the day. But how do I say this? I didn't stick to one gun and one gun only because as a kid at the time, I had more pride in mastering everything in the game and being good at everything in the game as opposed to mastering what most people would say was overpowered, right? We're going to put that in quotation marks because I feel like a lot of the guns in Black Ops 2 were very well balanced and you could do great with any of them regardless, right? So if I was using the Ballista, I would use it with iron sights. Mainly because I didn't really like the whole scope system blocking your field of view, right? Because when you scoped in, you get that black box around everything. So I didn't really like that. So if I ran iron sights, I could at least see around everything, right? But I never really focused on only using those guns. I was a completionist a little bit at the time, so I wanted to be max prestige. I wanted all my guns to have diamond camo on it because diamond camo was the highest camo you could get back in the day. You had gold for each gun, right? And then when you got gold for each of those categories of guns, you got diamond in that category, right? And I wanted to get diamond, not because diamond looked good. Diamond looked fucking atrocious in Black Ops 2. But specifically because it was a pride thing. Because you could go to school and you could brag to all your friends and be like, yeah, eat a dick, I fucking have diamond in Black Ops 2. Right? And it was a pride thing. Once I got diamond, I kind of moved on to trying to complete like a lot of the calling card stuff. So like 500 stun grenade kills where you like stun someone real quick and you like kill them and stuff like that. And then I would build like class setups built around doing specific things so I could try to get those challenges done as soon as possible. But at the same time, it kind of trickled out for me after that, because after Black Ops 2, we got Advanced Warfare, right? No, sorry. After Black Ops 2 came Ghosts. I did not buy Ghosts. I did not have the money at the time to really purchase Ghosts, right? Ghost was like the last. Ghost was a lot better than most people think it was, or remember it being. I didn't have the money, so I didn't buy Ghosts. And then Advanced Warfare came out. I ended up getting Advanced Warfare. I ended up getting Advanced Warfare because it looked good at the time. Multiplayer for Advanced Warfare was trash. I was great at it, but it was trash. I did not really like playing it. I did not play Advanced Warfare as much as I put into Black Ops 2. And then Black Ops 3 came out, if I'm remembering this correctly. Black Ops 3, I put the most amount of time into on any Call of Duty I've ever played. Went into Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3, the guns felt good. The guns each did something unique. The movement system was beautiful. It was the best combination that they've done of boots on the ground and the Omni movement that they could have possibly done. It felt so good to play Black Ops 3. I put a lot of time into playing Black Ops 3. Max Prestige in Black Ops 3, I spent a lot of time in the emblem editor in Black Ops 3 because it was just so fun. I used to make Pokemon all the time, and I would slap them on the side of guns, so it'd be awesome to like kill someone with like a Weevil, and I had like Victini on the side of the Weevil. It was funny as shit. Dark Matter came out in Black Ops 3, so like then there was a reason to get Diamond in everything. So Gold looked awesome in Black Ops 3. I don't remember what Diamond looks like in Black Ops 3, but I didn't really care anyways because Dark Matter looked so good in Black Ops 3. So I wanted to just speed run to Dark Matter as much as possible. Black Ops 3 is probably the last Call of Duty that I put a lot of time into. After Black Ops 3, I put a little bit of time into Infinite Warfare. But I bought Infinite Warfare because this was a diabolical thing that they did back in the day. The only way to get Call of Duty 4 Remastered was to buy Infinite Warfare as like a bundle. So I bought that bundle mainly for the remastered version of Call of Duty 4 because I grew up playing Call of Duty 4, and that's like what started Call of Duty for me, like period. Played Call of Duty 4 Remake for probably about a month, pretty religiously, and very quickly realized the matches were about all the same. Nothing changed, and I got bored of it, and I got bored of it super quick. So then I went to playing Infinite Warfare to kind of reinvest into Call of Duty a little bit with the Omni movement. Like maybe it would make me a little bit happier to have the whole Omni movement thing back. Infinite Warfare was obviously shit, so didn't really like it. And that's about where I stopped playing Call of Duty, and I started getting super heavy into Battlefield. Battlefield because Battlefield was awesome. Like, man. Each match in Battlefield is somewhat different. And part of the reason it's somewhat different is because you can do good at anything in Battlefield if you try hard enough. You can be an awesome helicopter pilot, and you could, like one good helicopter pilot could sway the entire match. You could be an awesome tank driver that's going to sway the entire match. You can be an awesome engineer working on anti-air, anti-vehicle stuff. if you want, you could be an awesome at assault and just fucking run around on the map, fragging out on objectives all game long, and just keeping away from your air support and everything, right? So Battlefield 4, I put a huge amount of time into. And I stayed away from Call of Duty. I have not played Call of Duty up until Modern Warfare 2019 got released. And then I played Modern Warfare 2019 religiously for about a month and a half before I very quickly again realized what I realized with Call of Duty 4. Mainly the matches are all the same. So like, I wasn't enjoying playing on large maps in Modern Warfare 2019. I was in Shipment 24/7 or Shoot House 24/7. I think Shoot Home, whatever that match was, where it was just small close quarter stuff. Those were the only two maps that I really enjoyed playing on, and it's because everyone was like forced to be right beside one another. I didn't really like the. Sorry, someone was just calling me and I didn't realize it. Yeah, the ballista is real. It is a real thing. I got pretty bored of Modern Warfare 2019. They also started pushing Warzone with Modern Warfare 2019. I don't really like Warzone, but that's because I grew up. My battle royale of choice that I grew up with, right? I say grow up like it's not fucking, new, was Apex. Apex feels so good. The movement, as long as you master it, is awesome. The gunplay is solid. The ping system is the best ping system out of any of the battle royales. I'll fucking die on that hill any day. It just feels good to play Apex, right? So I didn't really want to get into the whole Warzone thing. Now, when Black Ops 6 was starting to release, I re-downloaded Warzone, and I played a few matches of Warzone, and I don't know how to describe my experience. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I only played maybe 10 matches at most. It sucked. Like, I hated it. I hated it so much. I don't have create a class unlocked. I can't just pick up a gun like from my loadout thing and like now I can use this gun. Like I want to use this gun, but I don't have the base game. So because I don't have the base game, I don't have it unlocked. I don't have it leveled up at all. I have to go buy the base game and then go into multiplayer to level it up quickly, right? Because I can still unlock it if I reach a certain level in Warzone. I just have to play Warzone with it. It's a terrible progression system if you don't own the base game. And I do not want to go spend $60 on a yearly Call of Duty release because I'm basically spending $60 every single year just to be able to say, like, I have this gun or I have this gun. And I just don't want to do it. So I'd rather go keep playing Apex and every 4 months spend $20, $25, I think, on the season pass. And I just get skins for things. And I don't have to worry about leveling up a weapon to use certain attachments on it or anything. I can just solely focus on how good of a lifeline do I want to be, and okay, I'm better with the I'm better with the flatline than I am the R301, so all I have to do is find a flatline. And flatlines are like pretty standard stuff to find on the ground, right? There's not this giant pool of different weapons, there's not this giant pool of fucking attachments, and then you have to remember all of these different fucking stats, right? Every gun in Warzone is basically going to have the same fucking class setup, right? You're going to jack up the movement as much as you fucking can. You're going to make the barrel as fucking long as you can, and you're going to slap a suppressor on it so you stay off the fucking minimap. Like, that is every Warzone class in a fucking nutshell, right? Now, some people will be like, oh, well, one gun is going to be max movement for close range, and this other gun is going to be max long range with no recoil, so we can fucking hit people from across the map with it. And now you have two and all this other shit. Fuck all of that. Apex just made this thing so much simpler. Apex was better. Apex is dying. Warzone isn't. Don't know what that fucking says about Apex. Don't have a huge insight on that. Could be their monetization practices. Just don't know. So I've gotten out of playing Call of Duty pretty heavily. I have not touched Black Ops 6. I do not want to touch Black Ops 6. I am sure the game is fine. I'm sure the game is fun to play. I'm good. I don't want to play it. I haven't played video games in a month and a half, 2 months now. And that's pretty standard for me. I go through phases all the time. Of wanting to do things and not wanting to do other things. So video games for a while, I didn't want to touch them. I was on my laptop day in, day out doing what we're doing now. Streaming, building with Legos. I inevitably didn't want to do streaming, and then I stopped streaming, but I would still build with Legos, and then I didn't want to build with Legos anymore, so I played video games for a while. And now, like, as I slowly get older and older and older, you start to realize, like, different priorities mean different things. So, like, right now, #1 priority, spending time with the family and doing things out, not inside the house, right? So, going to trivia night every Tuesday at a local joint to just spend time with the family, answer trivia questions, try to win something. Yesterday, we went up to the Central Florida Zoo to do the Japanese Lantern Light Festival. Super cool. Love that. This is the second time that we've done it. Ice at the Gaylord Palms, we do every year. Super cool. Love doing shit like that. Just being able to see stuff. Like, appreciating life for more than just, I want to play video games or I want to build Legos. Like, there's a giant progression for stuff like that. So, anywho, long ran over about Call of Duty and everything. Black Ops 3 definitely has some pretty cool sci-fi looking guns that are still doable. It's part of the reason I really liked a lot of the stuff in Black Ops 3. Because it felt like there was still stuff in there that you could be like, okay, this could be realistic, right? I liked that. That was nice to see from that team, those developers. The Ballista is a real sniper rifle developed by FN. So if I switch back to that orange Ballista that I built, that's more so modeled after the one in real life, as opposed to the one in Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2 takes a couple creative liberties with their version of it. FN doesn't really promote that one too much, like their rifle. You would think that they would promote it like more than what they currently do, because it's kind of like a big deal, because that's like that is their rifle platform, right? Like, you would think that they'd be like, okay, no, we want to promote this like as heavy as we possibly can, but they really don't promote it as much as they probably should be, which is weird to say, because it's a beautiful platform that they should 100% be promoting, but they don't, which is just weird, right? Instead, I think they promote heavier now, the Mark 20 SSR, their semi-auto version of the Scar. It's gotten more updates than the Ballista. I haven't looked at it, but the Mark 20 SSR comes in like a whole bunch of modern calibers now that you kind of expect to see in most of those things. Like 6.5 Creedmoor is kind of like comes to mind immediately. I don't think the Ballista was ever released in like 6.5 Creedmoor. I think the Ballista was released in like a couple calibers, and that was it. I'd have to look at their website just to verify that, but I don't think they really marketed it as much as they should have or cared to, which is like I said, it's just kind of crazy to say because that is like their dedicated sniping platform. Like, so the Mark 20 SSR, it's a more accurate version of a SCAR, right? Like, that's what it's designed to do. That's what it's built to do. Like, that's pretty simple to understand, right? It's supposed to be a more accurate version of the SCAR. But it's also not, it's a semi-automatic platform, and semi-automatic platforms will always inherently be less accurate than their bolt-action counterpart. Why? It's all about lockup on the weapon itself, right? So semi-automatic has a little bit more tolerances built into it because it's semi-automatic in nature. There's lugs that rotate into one another. There's cams and everything, and there's always going to be a little bit of slop and slack in that. So if the bolt rotates home is just slightly off, it's going to be inaccurate for whatever shot you're trying to do, right? It's going to be, I shouldn't say inaccurate, it's going to be a different shot than the next one after it if it's rotated into a different position. Bolt actions are inherently a little bit more accurate because there's no moving parts other than the bolt. You're the one unlocking it, so it's not like the bolt head turns at all. So there's going to be more precise lockups in a bolt action than semi-automatic. That's what makes bolt actions more accurate than semi-autos, generally speaking. So, all of that said, I figured that they would have pushed into the ballista just a little bit harder, like leaned on it, and just been like, this is our dedicated platform for snipers, you know, buy this, you know, kind of lean into their government contracts a little bit more. No, they really didn't, which is weird, you know. Like I said, I figured they would, but they fucked it. They didn't care or something. I don't know. But there's also like a lot of different stuff that could go into that because obviously, you know, you could get different agencies want different things in their weapons. Right? Like we kind of saw that with some of the stuff that the Secret Service was using. Like a whole bunch of cloned stuff came out because of that. Where people were like, okay, this is the rifle, this is the glass that they were using, this was the caliber, stuff like that they were doing. Like people were super big into kind of cloning it as much as they could. And kind of taking a look at it and being like, okay, we can kind of understand why they're doing this, or we can kind of understand why they're doing that. I don't know why I just did this when it needs to be further down. So I could technically move that down, right? I can move this down here and like use that to kind of fix it, I guess. But I don't know. This is when things get complicated. So we're up to 14 of these now, and if it was $10 for one of these, in red, we're going to be up to 20 of them. So that's $200 in just those pieces alone, which is a shit ton. That is a lot of money to spend on only those pieces. Like, damn, man. I'm kind of thinking we do this here. kind of show this like a little bit of a transition. So I'm thinking like it comes down like this. I'm thinking it comes back in like that from the looks of it. And then like this kind of looks like it flattens out here as it like this comes back in, but this side over here like flattens out from the looks of it. And then it almost seems like the back of the grip here just hangs out into space a little bit and doesn't match like this rest of this angle here. That's what it looks like anyhow. So if this is 12, then if we do a 1x12, will fit plus the 1. So if we just do like 2 6s here, it'll be fine. And then instead of doing just a 1x1 to kind of help support that a little bit, we'll do like a 1x2 and we'll turn it so it's facing up a little bit more, like so. Okay, so which one of you was the grip? So the grip does just hang off in the space. You see this little bit of a shadow right through here? That's just the grip like hanging off in the space. So we kind of understand what's up with that. So that's fine. And then we see like a little bit of this wedge here, right? So this bit here, it flattens out. So like it'd be flat here. It'd be flat. From the looks of it, which is fine. Like there's no big deal doing that part of it. I'm a little off. Like you can see, here's the flat part here. So this plate's like a little off, but I'm okay with that. I'm not too hurt. And then this is flat up to here as well. So if we come over all of this comes out flat here and then hangs down. So like this little bit here is all straight, right? So if we pray and hope, right? So you see how this is here? So if we pray and hope, God, it sticks out so far. Big rifle sticks out enormously though. That hits there, and then this piece is probably going to be too far, I think. And the cursor. It's pretty close though, so I'm somewhat happy with that. So we place that there, right? And then we grab ourselves tile modified and the one that goes upside down. Grab that, place that. That'll be the flat part that comes out, right? So I'm good with that. And then we come back in here. Let's grab a 1x2. Another gun that you could do from Black Ops 2 that is also real, but as far as I can tell, doesn't really have a next generation counterpart, is the LSAT. LSAT stands for Light Small Arms Technology. It was a program being designed, I want to say, in India, I think. It might be Israeli. But it was to try to take a light machine gun and design a better cartridge for it and everything, like a whole new mechanical system. that kind of like helped control the recoil and like a whole bunch of stuff on it. Pretty neat program. Definitely like a possibility to look into. View, orientation, front. All right, now then, we come down with it. LSAT was supposed to be, I want to say the LSAT was shown on Future Weapons, which is really funny because Future Weapons, like a lot of the stuff that got shown on Future Weapons did not end up becoming a future weapon, which is crazy, right? Like that show has some pretty next generation stuff that you were like, okay, this is cool, like this is gonna do so much. So if you're doing the ballista, right, you gotta go like full camper loadout, right? You need to do ballista with the 2 bouncing betties, and then like the cheesiest sidearm possible, which is the Beretta 23R at the time, the B23R. Like, because everyone loved that thing. Like, that thing was just good. Just go embrace, like, inner camper 101. Have all of that in your loadout, and you'd be fine. Like, you'd wreck scrubs in that game. Can I fit this in here? No. Oh well. The gap is closed somewhat. The bad thing about using these pieces is dealing with the gaps like this, right? But it is what it is. It's somewhat there. So if we flip this, right? Fuck that, right? Let's go hinge, ya boy. Hinge. And old school with the holes. Flip, 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 flip. Place. Sorry, I've already fucked up. It doesn't go here, it goes one more down. But before we get out of it, grab that, close this, grab this, fuck, grab this, move that, place this, grab this, flip, flip. Yeah, so ballista, very, very good-looking sniper rifle, right? But angle-wise, giant pain in the ass. You might have to do some really fancy Lego techniques to try to get that to work the way that you want it to work. Where the fuck is panel? 2, flip, flip, place. Alright, so from... Oh! If Studio says it works, I'm gonna take it. It may work, it may not work. Who knows? I'm taking it. Go. Plate. 4. I'm only going to be able to fit, if I put a 4 in, and I kind of... So that would work, but the problem is I don't think one of those pieces comes in the size I needed to. So if we do one of the real fancy, new to me, inverted slopes that only has shit, not available in that color. Is it available in black? Because if it's available in black, we're good, because the whole thing's going to be black. Yes, awesome, that works. Drop this in. Switch back to red. So then we should be able to do, hanging off the back of this, the 3 to get to the back of that, and then the 2 to get to this. Because there's no 1 that doesn't have the edge piece on it. So that works the way I need it to. And then obviously, like, this whole thing here can just bend down like this. So to prevent it from being able to do that, we're just going to take a long plate piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. That's going to be a 12 in total. And we're going to slap that there. And then now, because that you have the 2 studs here, it kind of locks in like this so that it can't do anything. So that's that. And then obviously it'll get stronger the more we kind of mess with it a little bit. This is kind of like a general shape outline, and then I'm going to have to work on like filling this back in as we go later. So that goes here, that goes there. And then we get that, right? Let's just jump up here real quick, and let's work on getting this filled in so we don't have to worry about this too much. So I kind of want it to be only to the top of this, right? So if we do, technically Studio says that that's legal, but I know it's not, because I know that that stud piece hangs off a little too much there, right? So if we do the Technic one, Technic, which is also technically, right, illegal, right? This piece going here, technically illegal, because it puts too much stress on it, right? At least I think it is. But I'm okay with that. Wasn't there a 1x2 somewhere over here? There isn't. Okay, so we're going to have to grab a 1x2. That's fine. Grab you. Place you here. Now, it's filled in except for this little bit here. But in order to fill it in, I'd have to do like this, which means getting rid of all of this. And for right now, I'm not going to do that. Now, when I put the bolt on and everything, that might change. But for right now, we're not going to do that. All right, zoom back out. We're going to press save, because I don't want to lose the progress that we have on this. Because right now, it looks good. So, buddy, openist, embrace the dark side, right? Put parts clipping into other parts, man. Just say fuck it. Just mash them into one another. What's the sense in finding angles if you just push them into one another? You don't have to find any angles. It makes things way much easier. Whatever color you want, however long you want the pieces to be, custom pieces, you know, the barrel profile can be perfect with custom pieces. I need a wedge plate to make an angle, but you can't because it's got studs on the outside of it. Just erase the studs in Custom Part Maker. Come on, man, fight it. Join in. I say all that knowing that you're not going to do it. And I understand where you're coming from. Like, there's a lot going on with the whole community and everything around this type of stuff, but sometimes it is so much easier to just say fuck it and just do whatever you want to do and not worry about anything. So I've kind of got the lower set up a little bit. I'm thinking about doing just kind of this bottom section down here, and then calling it a day, stream-wise. I am on standby this week, so I do need to go, like, get my truck. So, since I need to go get my truck, I need to take the time to actually go do it, and it's going to take me some time to go do it. So we place this in, right? And then we can see a little bit of an angle here, right? So if we do, where is it? This piece should fit here, but it sticks out too low on one side, right? So if we take and we delete that piece and we move this one up, and we come back to our brackets, we can get the one version of it. Yep, this one. Place here. We're going to hit View, Orientation back to front, and then the whole reason I just did that was so that we could just do like a little bit of this arch here, because we have the room for this one. Arch is not going to be an arch. Arch is going to be an arch. It's not going to be a slope curved. I always get that confused. Slope curved is like, why isn't the arches included in slope curved? But I don't know. It's weird. Part designer, super easy. Part designer is just like choosing a part. Like, start with a base part, and then there you can import like a base part. They have an eraser tool to erase the studs on top of it. They have a hole tool so that you can add holes to it. You can add all sorts of different types of holes to it. So you can add like an axle hole. You can add the Technic pin hole. You can add the bar hole. You can add the mini bar hole. Like, you can just kind of add things and subtract things from it until you kind of get what you want. You can also scale it differently. So like for a lot of the custom sniper rifle barrels that I do, I just take a cone piece that I know is going to like generally fit and change the proportions. So like the one side of it's going to be, 4x4, and the end of it's going to be like 3x3. Kind of just judging like how long I want it to be, right? And then I just take and stretch it out to the length of the barrel. That's kind of how I get to like the custom size pieces. Not hard to do at all. Super simple, and just kind of works. The glass pieces that I did for the operator case for StarPath started out as windows, but they were only like tiny. They were microscopic things, and I just added length and width to them to match the case size. Yeah, 100%. Literally just CAD. 100% core. Like, you are not wrong at all. I just don't have... I have CAD. Alright, let's get that out of the way. I just don't have the laptop that will run CAD. I wish I did, but I don't. And because I don't, I can't use CAD as much as I want to. So I'm stuck doing what I'm doing here, which is, well, this model in particular I'm not, because it's illegal and everything, but other models where they're not legal, I'm basically just 3D modeling with extra steps. So if you look at the title of the live stream that I did for the operator case on the channel, I put 3D modeling in studio live stream. That way people knew like I wasn't being like smart with what I was doing. Like, I'm telling them like outright, like, hey, I'm doing something stupid. Do not think that this is correct. So I did this whole thing to do like a really neat transition right there, and just realized that this plate is 100% in the way of me doing a neat transition right there, so it's not going to work the way that I thought it was. I could delete the plate maybe. So if I delete this, right, and then I switch that for this thing to reconnect these pieces, because I can't just leave things not connected. Jump up there. View. And then I take and I do a real fancy slope pieces. Nope, not slope. Slope. If you make it have functions now while you're working on it in Studio, you don't have to worry about doing it in real life because you've already done the legwork of it, right? At some point, if you ever feel the need, obligation, or want or desire to build it in real life, and it's just a static model at present, you have to redesign parts of it, and you're going to hate yourself. So my recommendation would be right now, make it have all the features that you would want it to have if it were a real-life model, so that in the future, if you want to make it into an actual model, you don't have to worry about redesigning anything because it's already been done. But you had to fight it to make it in real life. What if you don't have to fight it to make it in real life? What if you design it how it's supposed to be designed the first go around? Come on, dude. Give me the 2x2. Jesus Christ. I'm like somewhat happy with that. It's not perfect, right? Don't get me wrong. It's close enough for me to be happy with it, because that was a lot of design and process that just went into doing that alone. And then I need to design the whole safety lever, which I'm almost positive that's a safety lever, because in this picture you can see that it's flipped down, and in the other picture it's flipped up. I'm assuming this is safe in some way, shape, or form, because it's like blocking the charging handle somewhat from the looks of it, and then this is fire, maybe. I know there's a white dot here, but it would make more sense for this to be safe. I don't know which one it is. There's not a lot of videos describing the fucking Gepard. Like, it took me 30 minutes to remember the name of this thing and find reference images of it, because it is so obscure. It is not a US made product. It's not a US imported product. This is like, Gepard is a Hungarian company, I think. So like finding any type of information for anything Gepard was like super hard. Which is crazy, because Gepard has like a lot of rifles. Like, if you look at how many rifles Gepard makes, they make a lot. Like, they did a lot of historical stuff. Like, during World War II, they did a lot of anti-material rifles during World War II, which is crazy. Because I almost felt like it was a fever dream that Gepard even existed at some point in time, trying to do research into finding the name of this fucking thing. Yeah, no, they existed. They existed a lot, actually. Alright, so let's just real quick hide this so I can do a little bit of some counts, right? So let's say The middle of the magazine is going here, right? In between here and here. This is the 4 wide section. And the grip, we're just going to stick with the 4 wide grip, which means it's going to go here. There's going to be like 2 studs, 3-ish studs worth of room in between it, which means I'm kind of using this as a scale to show me how far away it needed to come out and everything, and I think we did fine. I think we did good. I think it comes out just enough, which I should have already known, because if we scaled it correctly, then of course it was going to come out just enough. Like, duh, dude. What the fuck? Should have known that already. It does almost look like, you see how it kind of looks like it flares right there a little bit? Do I have another look at that? So I have another look at that. So it does flare like a little bit. So we can kind of help cover up this stud a little bit, maybe, by putting something here. This is where custom pieces would come in handy, because instead of having to put like a cheese slope with a plate underneath it, I could just put like a 3 long cheese slope. I don't think that's going to work the way I want it to. I don't like how much that covers up this slope here. Let's just do a tile. Let's just do a 1x3 tile. Call it a day. And then just make this tile light gray. Yeah, call it a day. Yeah, buddy. Alright, so in the grand scheme of things, it's 3 o'clock. I need to drive east. I need to get my work truck. I need to bring my work truck home. I need to be ready for everything. So 3 o'clock is a good time to end the stream for me to go do all of that. So we've made some progress. Not a whole bunch, but we've made some. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I'm going to go do everything that I need to do to properly adult, and I'll be back at some point. Don't know if it's going to be with this, don't know if it's going to be something else, but I'll be back at a later date at some point. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. See you guys later in another live stream some other time.